Son, where'd you find this?
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches. Taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Monday, good people. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. It's good to be here with y'all. Fresh week. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope your Monday started off splendidly. You dig? Shout outs to my poets, writers, content creators, authors, rappers, producers, all that. I'm always going to give them their flowers. Do me a solid. Like, share, repost. Let the people know we on. You see the title. We got to have a conversation. I got my folks in the building, man. I got somebody to come out and get off that red carpet to pull up and hang today. Tap in. You heard this is going to be a goodie. Let me bring everybody up on the big screen, man, so we can get the show started. I got a clip that I want to play for everybody just in case you not up to what we about to get into. It's for y'all. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see. Which one do I want to go with? Let's go here. Yo. What up?
Okay, then. Now we talking. Young chef.
Hey, finally got me out the shell, man.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Sitting there. D.
It was good. How everybody feeling, man?
Jelly.
Yeah, we living.
That's what's up, man. I seen this clip over the weekend, and I know we've been down this road before, but I wanted to take a different turn with this one. So shout out to the young lady, man, who reported this on her TikTok. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she said some things, and I'm not really sure if she was the right person to speak on this. I see Brandon just pulled up in the building. All right, hold up. I see. Hold on, let me get this right. There we go. There we go. All right. Yo, Brandon, Sydney, what's up? What's up?
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. We getting deep up in here today. All right. I'm not mad at it. Uh how the weekend going for y'all?
Not too bad. Chill. My mother-in-law was over for the weekend, so I get along with her compared to my mom, so it was
Oh, okay.
Hey, look, Brandon, Chef Brandon. That's the man that I be joking and cracking up with in the comment section. So
Yeah,
yeah.
got you. But how y'all feeling? Oh, y'all good? Everybody good?
Yeah,
Bless.
man, we good. We good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look,
Rob look like he might be too happy over there. What you got going on over
Oh man, I'm happy to see you, my guy. Nice to meet you, Paul.
there? Man,
I
good to see
said,
you,
what up,
man.
Brandon? What up, D?
What's up?
We finna go in. You know, he always picking these topics. I be trying to avoid the celebrity gossip. He always
That's
Hey.
crazy because you're on here with a celebrity.
Mm.
Right.
bang, bang.
Right.
that's G14 classified right there, sir. But nah, I'm gonna play this clip, man. Sydney, since you're the only woman up here, I'm gonna let you start us off with the initial thoughts. I'm gonna let her get her balls off first, though, and we just gonna go around, chop it up about what she said. If there's anything that she left out or she failed to add in, and yeah, man, let's try to give the people something to take home with them. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring this back up on the big screen. Hold up.
Lil Wayne's pockets are about to be shaking because I've been hearing for the past couple days that he's allegedly engaged to a 23-year-old girl from Kokomo, Indiana named Maddie. Now, this young girl looks like she's going to take Lil Wayne all the way through there. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. So, pictured above is Maddie Cannon. Maddie Cannon is from Kokomo, Indiana, and I've been seeing for the past couple days on all like the Indiana pages that they're shouting her out. They're like, this girl's been touring with Lil Wayne. She's been with him, and she looks like his type. She's white, she's short, she's thick, she's cute, and she's also really, really smart. If I was her, oh baby, I would pull a Tatiana Chanel. I would get all the money I can out of Lil Wayne, trick old man self, because Lil Wayne is how old, sister? 43 years old. Okay. He's literally 20 years older than her. They ain't got nothing to really talk about. Trunk Fit was not even popular when she was a little kid. Okay. She was too young to remember his reign, but she can let it rain on her with all Lil Wayne's money. Okay. He has so much money from Nicki Minaj and Drake that I would absolutely let this be my come up. He's basically a dirty old man that she should use. Yeah. Now, it has not been officially confirmed whether or not they're fiancés or not, but they got her in the background of all the tour videos, and every single thing keeps saying fiance. Now, you know that he was engaged to another lady that was more close to his age. Her name was Denise Bidot. He was engaged to her for a while. They kept having like on and off engagements. Do you guys remember her? She had dark hair. She was like plus size, and she kind of looked like Ashley Graham to me. She used to be like crashing out over Lil Wayne. But one thing about Lil Wayne, he gonna get engaged. Will he get married? He's only been married to Toya, so that's up for debate. But like I said, Maddie Cannon, I ain't mad at you, girl. Do your thing, 21.
Uh,
I think you should absolutely go to school. Go to law school, go get your doctorate, go do something that's super duper duper expensive that will benefit you in the future when you're done with Lil Wayne. Girl, please. You're not gonna be staying with no daggone Lil Wayne. He cool, but yeah, girl, go get that money, go get that degree, and come up off of that man and his little freaky kinky desires. Trust me. Do it for what he did to Nivea and Lauren London. Do it for womanhood. Yeah. Lil Wayne's pocket.
All right. So look, this is what I want to do because my man's he can't stay long. So what I'm gonna do is I want bro to get a chance to get his thoughts out before he has to close out. Then I'm gonna give it to Sydney, and then whoever wants to pop up afterwards, y'all got the floor.
Yeah.
Max, you
Can you
good?
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it's just something that I thought was gonna be a quick fix. It's not gonna be a quick fix. So, but then I know it's the time, so I didn't get a chance to. It sounds like a younger girl. This being a celebrity, I mean, they're notorious for that. I don't know. I mean, Lil Wayne, he's kind of like not someone I follow nowadays. This is coming off of a girl's opinion, but if he like is my understanding that he has a reputation for what, screwing girls over or something, or just messing around with them. Is that the thing? If so, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, who I love as an actor, I think he's a cool dude from what I can see, but he has a reputation for only dating women who are no older than 25. I do worry about that. I still think he should just hook up with Kate Winslet and call it a day, because clearly they love each other, but I feel like I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe they're just close like that, or they just too stubborn to deal with each other. Either he has something he needs to work on, or no, dating no one past 25 is uh, an interesting limit. But with Lil Wayne, I don't know what his dating reputation is like. I never paid mind to it as long as he wasn't being a pedo about anything. If the girl wants to hook up with a celebrity, that's on her, just as long as no one's getting hurt and no one comes out sick or in a predicament that they don't. And hi, bye everybody.
All right. Sid, you got it.
Um, I this makes me think of a couple things. One, I'm not entirely surprised because you know how celebrities are. I mean, our own Secretary of State, whatever she
The
is,
girl referenced that he
28,
dated someone else.
and her
What was the deal?
husband
That
is
he
like
used to mess around with
62, I
girls?
think, something like that. So
Was
I'm
around
not entirely surprised. We definitely do have a culture where we got 50, 60-year-old
anyone
men
able
dating like 20-year-old
to answer
people. Um,
that?
so yeah, I'm not entirely surprised. It also kind of makes me think of the recent vote in Oklahoma where they were voting to ban child marriage under the age of, it was either 12 or 15. And I think there was like 36 politicians that voted no to ban child marriage. So again, this is definitely a cultural thing. I think we as a society think, oh, well, society has progressed since then. We don't think that way anymore. But it's clear that there are still people that do think this way. Um, yeah, I'm definitely not into that. I would not want to marry an old man. I can tell you that right now. I'm glad that my husband is my age. Because it's just like when you marry somebody that's way above there, sure, there might be benefits, like they're probably well established in their career, they might have more money, they might have a house, they might have other stuff. But the life milestones and stuff like that, I would rather go through life with somebody that's on par with me and we experience the same things together. So yeah, not my cup of tea, but again, I'm not surprised.
Brandon, Chef, anyone want to chime in? Rob?
I'm gonna go last.
Uh, I don't know, cause it's to be frank, that shit is weird. I mean, but also at the same time, is it weird when a young man and a cougar get together? Like, what's the difference? There's that double standard in our communities, right? As men, we big up each other for that. But I don't know, man. I think at the same time, speaking more closely to the issue, I think it boils down what to what degree these two people have developed mentally and what they identify with. You know what I mean? If I'm 42 years old right now, but my mind is 12, you know what I'm saying? I've only matured up to a 12-year-old boy, whether it be because of trauma and whatever else inhibits that growth. I'm not defending it. I'm not for it. But I'm just saying, like, what that could be the issue. Like I said at the beginning, it's all weird. I don't care. I don't care. It's weird. Let me find out my daughter had got with a man my age or older at 17. All right. I can't say, we in public, but no, no, no. That ain't how I'm raising my little ones. And maybe that's another factor. What's going on at home? Who taught her that was okay? Because society says, get the bag, girl, you know, and it's I don't know, bro. Maybe they got a deal like 50 Cent when he made that song, Have a Baby by Me, baby. Maybe I don't know, man. I'm gonna shut up now. But I think it's weird. And we really got some policing to do in our communities, But that's just me.
I'm married. I got a large, significant age gap in my marriage. Very large. And I could say, coming from the hood, when I was 15, 16, I was running with 30 and 40-year-olds. I didn't even think I was going to make it to 18, let alone 45. And when I met my wife, I had my own house, car, everything. She had her own house, car, everything. And we just bonded. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say what I'm gonna back up what Sydney said to where it was cultural. It was definitely cultural back in the days. It was normal. I got friends that said that they would witness the high school girls getting in the players' cars. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Chef, if we bagged an older woman, at the end of the day, we were saluted. And then this is nothing new to the other culture because, Hugh Hefner, like they said, Leonardo DiCaprio, David Letterman, I think he had a baby when he was like 60. Mel Gibson had his like ninth child. Robert De Niro, like 80. You know what I'm saying? A god to the movie. You know what I mean? As far as fandom or whatever, would look up to him. So he just had like a baby or whatever. So when the other culture was doing it, a lot of times nobody really said nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with you, Chef, to where it's definitely a maturity thing. 20 years later, we good. I don't know who agrees with it. Clearly, I ain't care before. You know what I'm saying? I don't care now because nobody put food on our table. You know what I'm saying? Except for our family. And they've accepted it to where on both sides of the family, we in there like swimwear. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that if that girl probably grew up in the hood, she probably sees things a lot different. he sees things a lot different from his upbringing. And I did look back and it said that she was 23. Not too much of a difference, but if she's 23 at that age, you know, she can make a decision. All I would, you know, want, if they're compatible, I would hope that it works because she is legal. You know what I'm saying? That everybody was talking. His first album came out when when she was born or before she was born. His daughters is older, whatever. But you know, at the end of the day, it's legal. If that floats his boat, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, it's America.
And for me, like I don't care. They do what they do. She illegal, so I mean she's legal, so it's like it's whatever. But me personally, I couldn't do it because like can you rap my first album? Can you rap a song off my first album? You can't do that. I can't do it. But 40, like he's like 42, she's like 23. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He's got to be careful. They both got to be careful, and he got to watch out. She might be a money grabber. Who knows? I mean, just plotting and planning because a lot of girls do that.
Um, the woman who reported this or gave her take on it, I don't like her delivery. I don't like her mindset with this. Like, if you're gonna have a conversation about this age gap thing, cool. But she's talking from a place of, well, if they can do it, then we can do it too. And that's not the message that you want to put out there for the general public. I can't stand that shit. I can't. Because it's basically you saying, girl, go ahead. Give your body away. Go ahead. You young. Go ahead and spread your legs and be out here in the street. Use your youth. Use your fertility. Have fun. Extract everything that you can get out of this person. And then do something with it. Like it's a recreational sport these days. Like you might as well add this to the Olympics. Industry 304s compete for the wealthiest man. Whoever wins gets what? A child at the end of the day. You stuck paying child support for 18 years. They're going to constantly be using your name for clout and verification of their own social status. You putting out this message that it's okay to essentially use another person for what they have. And I don't agree with that. As far as the age thing, 23 ain't bad. If you would have said 18 or some shit like that, then it would be a problem. Because my nigga, you just got out of high school. Just got out. Personally, like Chef said, you could be 50 years old and have the mind of Quagmire. Your brain could be all scrambled. There's grown adults out here that still act like they in high school. So it's a maturity thing. It's definitely a little more complex than just, oh, an older guy wants to deal with a younger woman because she's manipulative or she's more likely to be used. In some cases, yeah, I can see that, but then you have to flip it on both sides because these teachers, these female teachers, they out here getting knocked up by students every day. So men and women both play a part in that. I don't agree with it. I think that if people had more discipline, they would be in their age bracket. But because society has made it acceptable to cross those boundaries and take it further than you would normally do it, nobody is really making a big deal about it.
All right, hold on real quick. Couple things. Uh, to the last point you made about discipline, right? We also have to understand that discipline comes from conditioning, right? Discipline is doing the thing even when you don't want to do it, right? That's conditioning. You've been conditioned, you've been trained, you've been brought up, you've been raised, yada yada yada. You've been taught to do a thing a certain way, when and where, right? I know what you mean, but for the people, for the people listening, for the people that'll hop on later, right? So we can't necessarily go by that because our youth are being influenced by whole culture, whores, groupies, gangsters, thugs. Am I lying? Am I wilding? This is what we're being influenced by. So we really can't be surprised when our sons and daughters go out to be gangbangers and hoes. Thoughts. But at the same time, we as parents, we as the adults have to have enough wisdom to see, all right, my little one's going this way. I have to love them enough to give corrective action, right? Train them in the way that they should go, in the way that they are bent, so that, they do what is right. And the end goal, I would hope, is for all of us to raise our little ones to be decent human beings. At the very least, whatever that means, right? So I think that was everything I wanted to touch on. Yeah, we also have to. We're at war, and we're being attacked on all sides, physically, mentally, emotionally, visually, just on all sides. So we have to have some type of fortitude. We have to have some type of grounding. I agree in that I really didn't appreciate the delivery. Do it for this, do it for that, do it for somebody else, do it because he did this to somebody, right? That's unforgiveness, is what I'm hearing. That's unforgiveness. And these people ain't got nothing to do with what you got going on, first and foremost, right? But here we all are, right? At the same time, when you're at Lil Wayne's level, when you're at his status, what is love? This nigga don't even believe in racism. Come on, cuz. Come on, cuz. Really? For real? And he's the moral compass? Nigga, if I have to be the voice of reason in any given situation, something is wrong. You dig? All right, I'm gonna shut up. That's my piece.
This also kind of makes me think of the story that was made famous how long ago? I think it was probably like 2016. Oh no, back in the 90s. A teacher got into a relationship with a 12-year-old student that she had, and even though she had to register and she went to prison, they got married after she got out. I think it was like shortly after he turned 18. She was even pregnant with his child. That's basically how they found out about that whole situation. And 8 months after she got out of prison, she had a second child with him. She spent 6 years in prison, and she spent half a year of that in solitary confinement because she's continued to communicate with him when she was in prison. And yeah, I just remember that story always stuck with me because he was 12. He was 12 and his teacher was going for him, and they still were allowed to get married. They were still allowed to have contact with each other, and it's crazy. It just makes me think of that story. And I also wonder about her motives. If she's genuinely getting in a relationship with him because she enjoys him and likes to be around him and stuff like that, or if it's just because he's a famous celebrity. And if you're married to a famous celebrity, that's one of the fastest ways that you can gain fame yourself. And if she's a model, she's trying to make it in the industry. She's only 20 or 22, something like that. It's difficult. Like, we're competing, or people who are trying to get famous are competing with all sorts of well-known faces and names. And so if you want to get big in the industry, sometimes latching on to somebody famous is the best, or not best, but is the way to do it, the fastest way to do so. And so I genuinely wonder if that's the only reason why she's getting with him. I also wonder how long they're going to last, to be honest. I don't know what her life is like, but I mean, we see time and time again, these celebrities, their marriages can be like 2 months, 3 months, not very long. Because a lot of the time celebrities are not getting together because they genuinely value the relationship and want a solid marriage for themselves. They're getting together because either, like, in the moment they did a movie together, they have a spontaneous connection or whatever, but then it falls away as soon as they get busy or whatever. So I genuinely wonder how this relationship is actually going to work itself out, and how genuine this connection actually is. It'd be crazy if she got pregnant already or something.
Shit, if she's smart, she will. And look, I'm saying it from an evil, selfish perspective. Like, if I was a dickhead, yeah, why wouldn't you? He an old ass man who playing with his money. He think he had Toys R Us, and that's how most of them are. Josh Jacobs, dumbass, just got himself in some stuff. Shannon Sharp just got out of some stuff. He ain't no longer with ESPN because he fucking around with these OnlyFans models and shit like that. These dudes get this fame and this wealth, they get bored, or they just feel like, well, damn, I can touch grass wherever I see fit. And the people don't really care. If I was vindictive and I was petty, I would do it too. But I got a conscience and I got a heart and a soul, and I know I got, like, my relationship with God won't allow me to do no stupid shit like that to somebody. But listening to the way that woman was speaking, you could tell she was hurt. You could tell that she didn't have some experiences. You can tell that there's certain content creators that she listened to. And if given the opportunity, she would probably do the same thing. But that's alleged. I don't know her personally, so I can't say that. Maybe she's just trolling. But at this point, why would you even play around with that? I'm a multi-millionaire. Who, like, be honest, my nigga, who really is attracted to Lil Wayne? Like, this, the nigga look like one of the drinks off of what's the drink, man? Gremlins. Remember Gremlins? Like, come on, man. I'm not saying it's all women. I'm not, and I'm not coming at who did she bring up just not so long ago. I just did a reaction to her too. Chanel. I can't remember her first name. Something Chanel. She admits on camera that she laid down with this brother for 2 years just so that she could get the money out of him. She sacrificed her body just to get what she could get out of him. And then later on, they get into a little beef. He'd make a diss track about her. She threatened to tell the world, oh, well, I was pegging you. I was sticking all types of stuff up your butthole and all type of little shit. You take this down or else. People do it all the time. Folks will sell their soul literally for some money, for some attention. Who's raising these people though? Who said, all right, it's one thing, all right, it's one thing to raise your daughter and to raise your son to want someone who has something to offer you. It's another thing when you telling them go after this, but here's the caveat. There's things that you need to be able to reciprocate in the process. There's consequences behind moving a certain way when you're dealing with these other human beings that got feelings and emotions and things of that nature. Y'all can't just be going out here trying to play with people and, you know, think, oh, your pretty privilege is going to get you like this anonymity from somebody blowing your head off or some shit because you wanted to use your used up vagina to get something out of this person. You destroying these youngins, man, with this toxic behavior. It's not cool. And Lil Wayne, he a fool too. To answer the question, she don't like that nigga for real. She don't really want to be there for real. She don't. But the perks will absolutely make a person do things that you would never ever think they would. I yield the mic.
I don't know how they met. Like, what did they meet at? Was he at her high school? How they met? How long they been together? I got a question. Cause like seriously, where did she come from? Like, who is she? Is she? I know she put money in a bank account. If she's smart, she put money in the bank account every month. Just move over just in case. Cause Lil Wayne, we already know how Lil Wayne character is. He cheat. He had multiple women, all that, and everybody he been with, it was to me, it was all cash grab. So it is what it is.
He met her ass at Barnum Bailey Circus.
Yeah.
They met her ass at the bouncy house. Like,
and how long together?
What'd you say, B?
I said, and how long they been together too? How long they been together?
Right. I don't know though. It's cultural too though, because again, like I remember R. Kelly when he married Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And some people was with it, you know what I'm saying? And I used to argue because I'd be like, well, you know, not my sister or whatever, whoopie whoop. But at the same time, some people was with it. And then apparently a lot of people was fighting over her. And then from what I heard, some of the women saying that Lil Wayne was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, at the end of the day, like you gotta think, Biggie had character. Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. He wasn't the handsomest, but he had character. So some people had that swag, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, what they relate on. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? If y'all like Chef said, if y'all got the same mentality or y'all can relate, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we this been going on. This ain't nothing new. And I remember the I look it up all the time. The marriage ages in some states was still like 14 years old. Like you could still, you know what I'm saying, especially with like parent consent. So, you know, this ain't nothing new. It's just the fact that he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? All these other celebrities, you could go on and on. What the dude, Ozzy Osbourne wife had a young dude. Uh, Madonna been doing it for years. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't really say that. What I'm gonna look at now is that, excuse my phone. Uh, a lot of times these people hold up too much, and you know they hold up too much time. It's all a distraction. They ain't get the guy out the White House. So at this point, you know what I'm saying. I just feel like to each his own. You know what I mean? As long as she's not a baby, you know what I'm saying, and she has a proper mind, she can think. Then at the end of the day, to a certain extent, you do what you want. Unless like I said, unless you get everybody or you changing the laws that allow this kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of let it be.
Uh, you mentioned something earlier. Damn, I hadn't lost it. But a couple things we also, I think, need to consider, right? Environment. How was this young lady raised? Okay, so I'm about to drop a bomb. All right, Deep, you already know this. We chit chat, right? All right, I'm a former sex worker. You dig? All right, like Rob, I grew up with pimps, gangsters. Grandmama was a thug. You know, she was outside. Having all these experiences, being in places that no child should have been exposed, right? I had no business being in a lot of the places that I got to be in, right? Um, that led me into a whole nother side of the underbelly of this beast, right? Part of me, the good guy in me, the empathetic side of me, can identify certain things in people. The villain in me can also, the predator. You know what I'm saying? The villain. I can see certain things. I can look at somebody and be like, yeah, I could do this and get this reaction and get this. And one way or the other, I'm going to get something. I'm going to get something out of this person, right? On the other side, I can look at somebody and see pain. I can see hurt. And I can usually, sometimes, I can figure out that that stems from something that happened to them or something that they were exposed to, or right, something shook them up and shattered the psyche to some degree. All right, that makes me wonder, what has this child been through? What has this child experienced to look at a 40-year-old man and be like, yeah, yeah, that's it, that's what I want from myself? Where's a mom at? What's her mom thinking? Because she's damn near a celebrity now, I would suppose, right? She's damn near, her face is about to be everywhere, kicking it with Lil Wayne. right? I'm with Brandon here. Like, where they meet at though? Where they meet at though? For real. Cause a 40-year-old and a 20-year-old, I can't imagine would be in the same place. I don't go clubbing no more. Not because I'm married, because I don't have no need to. What's the point? I got speakers in my house. I can have a blast. I can drink. I can crack the old lady when I want to. What? I don't. There ain't nothing else out there for me. I ain't outside no more. Was it work? Was it work? Was it a board meeting? Uh, I don't know. I don't know, but whatever. I don't really care at the same time. But for the sake of this conversation, um, what has this child been through, right? And why is her consciousness so seared to where this is the thing she chooses to do, right? And that sucks because it had to be something traumatic for her, right? And anyone else. We all know a groupie or two, fellas. We all know the neighborhood bust down. We all know a couple of them, right? And oh, you mentioned something earlier, Deep, about how to paraphrase, like they just kind of learn the hard way. Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, you go do this. This is how a lady acts. But in reality, it's something different, right? We would call it something different, right? They go out there, they don't tell them the whole story. They don't tell them about getting smacked around, getting snatched up and thrown out of vehicles, right? They don't talk about getting stranded or the dangers. My OGs ain't tell me about the dangers. You either gonna end up dead or in jail. Like there wasn't turf wars. There wasn't other dope boys coming to beat you up because you're on the wrong corner or they're trying to take over. They didn't tell us about none of that. They didn't tell us how bullets felt or sounded, right? They didn't tell us what type of enemies we was dealing with. We had to figure that shit out the hard way, right? Sometimes to dire consequences. And by that time, that trauma sets in, you're already dead inside. You know what I'm saying? You're already dead inside, and it's like, well, it is what it is. You resort to that. Well, I don't know nothing else. I used to want to do this thing, this cool thing, play ball, be an artist, sing, or whatever, or be an engineer. But here I am on this corner. Here I am in this bed laying next to this old ugly dude. So I just wonder what's going on with the young lady. Wayne, fuck him, right? He grown. And he's at the point where he could throw money at any problem. You know what I mean? So he probably, I don't, who cares, right? But what's her story? What's her deal, right? How does she hurt? And maybe there are some solutions there for parents, for people looking to be parents. I don't know.
I mean, where do you brought up we all had like this circle or like this palace of I can't even think of the word, this harem of streetwalkers that we could call them up, make something happen. Yeah. And I think what I'm trying to say is like you know how to position yourself to be around certain stuff. You wanna grow your business. You're gonna hang around people like Trump or somebody. You want to be around more cultural type folks, you're going to hang around that. So it's all about positioning, and unfortunately, a lot of us were taught to be the way that we are. The trauma is real. It's like a silent killer because you don't even recognize it. It just becomes a part of your DNA. So without it, it's like you drowning. And unfortunately, when I listen to women like her say, it's like, do this for, I'm looking for the women in the comment section to say, no, don't speak for us. Don't speak for me. Because that's not how real women operate. Hurt people don't hurt people. We don't do tit for tat. We don't honor what Lil Wayne does. I don't honor it. Me personally, wealthy men and women, they should be already married. You shouldn't still be out here in the street playing around looking for love or anything. Now, if that's what you want to do, cool. But again, the consequences, the repercussions, the dark side, the downside of it. That's why, like, I know this seems like a redundant conversation, but I be trying to drill it into people's head. It's like, you in this goofy ass mindset, the shit going to get you. It's going to get you drugged, mentally unstable, spiritually sick. It's going to have you with multiple kids. You're going to end up like Cardi B or Sexy Red or somebody or some shit like that. Lotto is pregnant by a dude that is married. Y'all keep listening to these stupid ass people, man, and they just sound like they so bitter. So I don't know. I ain't mean to cut your wisdom, Rob. I just wanted to add that in. Also, we've all taken one for the team. I ain't gonna say Sydney. I don't know. I don't know about Sydney. I don't know, but we've all taken one for the team. You had that one joint. I done had me a couple big girls that I wasn't really proud of, but you know, so we the world.
My stories.
Man, listen. Check it out. I can speak to what Chef was saying. When you grow up around that environment, you grow up pretty fast. And when something is normal, a lot of times you don't have the parents to show you guidance and correction in a sense like that, to where you say, hey, you know what, you should be doing this and that, da 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 da. As the girl said in the beginning, she said she would have did it too. She would have got the bag. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he was traumatized early, very traumatized early. So they might have a bond to where they could actually get along. You know what I'm saying? Again, my issue would be, are we just looking at him as a case, or are we going at everybody? And I know that, we said, well, we can't speak for other people, but at the end of the day, Sydney just put it, the 2 states still, the minimum age you could get married at Hawaii and Kansas is 15. You know what I'm saying? Other states have a minimum age of 16, and then you could do it with a consenting parent. So at the end of the day, are we looking at the whole, or are we just looking at these 2 individuals? Because what I'm thinking, probably, when you get it, what I heard in the industry is so small after a while, you know everybody. You probably want somebody that ain't gonna ask you too many questions. You know what I mean? And with that I would say vice versa for him too. Probably want somebody that don't want to ask him a question, because he probably don't want to be asked a whole lot of questions too, because of what's been going on with him. So, you at the end of the day, when it comes to relationships in Hollywood or whatever, entertainment, it's damn near impossible to keep one. And to a certain extent, for all he's been through, it appears, I would want the fella to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever, because at the end of the day, he did influence my life in a positive way. And I would want these people to be able to have productive relationships because it doesn't seem like it. And it seems like the more money you get, the more left everything goes, which should not be the case. You know what I'm saying? And if they grew up normal, if he grew up in a two-family house, two-parent household, and they sent him to Yale or Florida State University or Harvard, or something, you know what I'm saying? You would probably think that, but he didn't. And at the end of the day, at the age of 12, he was running with 50 and 60-year-olds, 40. You know what I'm saying? So we can't deny his upbringing. And again, at the end of the day, it's still being done. A lot of times we just look at it like, oh, our people got it, but this is norm. That's the norm.
Should it be normal?
It's still weird. I don't care. I can't look at my 12-year-old daughter, bro, 15-year-old kid, and be like, I want to start a relationship. That's fucked up. I'm just, I don't know, cuz that's just weird to me. That's not right, bro. That's a sickness. How you look at a kid, bro, and be like, word, I can't, nah, bro, that ain't right. Now, I understand certain traditions and customs, right? All that, but it's normal, but is it right, bro? It's normal, but is it right? And I mean, I'm saying this out loud and thinking about it, but that could be said for a lot of different things. Yeah, these people are hurt, right? There ain't no denying that. You can see it. You can see it. You know, and shout out to Rob for finding his love, his peace, right? Big up to that. But I don't look at Rob and be like, yeah, I bet he got with a. Come on, bro. That's not healthy. That ain't healthy. You know what I mean? I identified when I was out there, right? It was the older women I was looking to get physical with. Because in my mind, now that I'm thinking about it, I thought I was on their level. And the pervert in me was like, well, they got something to teach me. I wasn't thinking about all the different levels of manipulation and control and all this, So I don't know. I can't respect it. Point blank, I can't respect it. I can't respect it. And I have regrets from being that young man. Thinking I could play on an older, mentally undeveloped older woman. You know what I mean? I have my regrets, right? And I'm probably just gonna have to take them to the grave or to the altar. But I don't know, bro. It's 15, 16, bro. That's too young. 40 and 20. It's weird. No disrespect to nobody. You find a person you love, y'all are compatible. That's two adults, right? But still, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a touchy subject.
I was gonna add what you were saying. Kids nowadays, like a lot of people, or some people will argue, like, oh, well, in history, kids got married at 12, 11, like they married them off. The maturity level of kids nowadays is not the same. Like we do not expect the same things from kids today that we expected from them back then. Like in the 1900s, even we had 6-year-olds working in factories, and the life expectancy too was not that great. Technically, people did actually live into their 70s and 80s, but there was still it was a very different time. And if you like, this was a way that families could support their kids. They couldn't afford to feed them, and so they'd marry them off to somebody else. It was often a financial decision. It was a way to kind of send them off somewhere else so they could still be taken care of. But kids nowadays are widely infantilized. I don't know if that's how you say it exactly. But like a 12-year-old today is not the same. It is they do not have the same mentality. We do not have the same system set up. There's no need for kids that age to be married. And we're also in an era where there's vastly more opportunities for children than there was back then. Like back then it was you worked in the factories, you worked in the fields, you started having children. Or maybe you help the family around the house with the other 14 kids. So we don't have the same system set up, and so there is no need for us to send kids off to adults to get married for financial reasons or anything like that. And so at this point, it's disgusting, to be honest, like to allow somebody who might not have even started puberty yet to marry off to an older person who has no experience with their bodily autonomy. They don't understand that they can say no to things. They don't understand anything in that arena. Like that is stuff that people don't really start learning about until like 15, 16, 17, 18, but they're still very premature with it. They have not had, like, we're at a time where people are waiting longer than before in history to do these things, and they don't have the emotional mental maturity to handle these types of things. Like I've heard stories, I've watched documentaries and stuff of kids who have gotten pregnant 12, 13, 14. It is incredibly stressful when you have to go through that as a child. You're still going through school, you're still trying to figure out your emotions, you're still like, you don't even know how to date or anything like that. You have no ability to have a career for yourself, to support yourself. And so when you marry off a modern child to a modern adult, it's dangerous because they have so much more of a capacity to be controlled than kids in the past. And I think that's something that we have to consider when people try to make that historical comparison where they're like, oh, well, we used to marry them off when they were 12. It's not the same time period. Back then it was a necessity. Today it is not. And there's so many different opportunities for kids that don't involve being sent to be controlled by another adult. So that is obviously, it's not the same in this case. She's obviously not a child, but it still brings up the same conversation with how young she is and the discrepancy between that age. That, give me a moment. That whole idea of being controlled and being with somebody who is vastly more mature than you, and the ability of them to basically dictate your decisions, hold you hostage potentially in your own home, and force you into a role that you are not comfortable taking because maybe that's the only option that you have. So you definitely have to consider the mentality of the people that are getting into these relationships and whether they have the capacity to even make this decision in the proper manner and have opportunities to get away if it goes wrong.
I got a question for y'all. Would you prefer, and this is just a hypothetical, would you prefer to get married young to somebody your age and grow old together, or get married young to someone that is older than you and try to ride it out? Which one you think is more likely to survive?
Shit, I feel like whoever got a connection, but I feel like if y'all both young and y'all, especially mentally, y'all on the same level, y'all could be up together or y'all could be down together. So it don't matter for real.
Yeah. I would prefer to build with somebody from scratch than to try to bring somebody in who is sitting there waiting at the finish line for me after I done put in all the pain. I couldn't do that. Uh, I married somebody that was 4 years older than me, and I'm gonna tell you that is a different dynamic. The conversations are definitely different. They're not too far off, but in my situation, she had that I'm older than you, so you need to listen to what I'm saying type thing. It wasn't like I'm the leader in the household. You're more or less trying to bump heads with me. That ain't gonna work. So it's all in the mindset. Uh,
I think I'm with Brandon though. It's about connection more than all of that. Because like I said, when I had my career and everything, I was full fledged into my career, teaching, school counseling, whoopty whoop. And at the end of the day, we talk about it and we talk about it all the time. And we would be suspicious if somebody tried to do what we did. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, I was uncontrollable already. And I was literally running with 30, 40, and 50-year olds in the hood. I couldn't even really talk to too many people my age because I had already been outside too far deep. You know what I'm saying? So I think what's more important is if you find a connection with somebody who respects you, they respect your mind, and they willing to seek to understand, and they willing to grow with you, regardless of what. Because I could tell you like this: we have the same problems normal couples have, and every couple has problems. And I don't care how old you are. The question is, are y'all gonna work through them together? And can you stay on the same page through, you know what I'm saying, all of the ups and downs? And I can tell you, money can't fix that. You could have $10 billion. That ain't gonna help if y'all don't relate. That ain't gonna help if you're not waking up happy with the person you would. You could have $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, to a certain extent, we do need to change those laws or whatever. So I wouldn't. The only thing that I would look at is, okay, where did they meet and what did they have going on for themselves? Because if he has the mind of a 20-year-old, if it's just a money thing at the end of the day, it ain't gonna work for him. It ain't gonna work for her because you could get the bag, but then now you miserable with the bag. And this is what we watching every single day. People's getting all this money, they can't have a positive relationship with nobody. When you say Cardi B and all of them, I would to a certain extent and look and say, okay, at least they got the bag. They could take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? These people who's getting their people out the hood and all that. And the drama sells. You know what I'm saying? The drama sells. You get to a certain point where bad news is good news. Everything is a tabloid. You know what I'm saying? I wish to a certain extent that a lot of times we get to the real business at hand. You know what I mean? But everybody needs, they distractions or whatever. But I wish we could all come to and get to the real business and help our people get free. But with the media and all this way it's at. So like I said, I would double back and say this is why I don't like to do the celebrity gossip, because if I ever hit we're gonna be up here. I'm gonna have to be up here explaining myself. Like, yo, But guess what? You gonna get it from me first.
But see, it's not even about celebrity gossip. It's uncovering like this false narrative that certain things are supposed to go this way because the hive mind mentality says it's supposed to go that way. Like this is the tricking error. You matter if you can buy a Birkin bag. You are important if you can pay this person's rent up for a whole year. You are someone who can be a protector if you can blow out $30,000 for just no reason other than just to do it. That's the problem. It hasn't for me. It don't have nothing to do with him dealing with her and the age specifically. It's the message that it continues to carry out to people. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Connection matters. It definitely matters. There are people that are in successful marriages and things like that with folks that are their senior or whatever. But with this particular thing, it's like, all right, man, are you there for the money or is it something else? And my final take is she there for the money. She's probably unfortunately going to end up doing the same thing that we've seen time and time again. She's going to do what she got to do there, benefit from it, and then branch off, and then she's going to move on to the next sucker and the next one until she's used up, worn out. She's young now, but by the time she hit 30, she ain't gonna look like that no more. She ain't gonna be moving, talking, or thinking that way no more because of what the industry do, because of what that lifestyle does. And it's all because I'm gonna stop there. If y'all want to say anything before we close out, y'all got the floor.
I gotta put my tinfoil hat on, cuz hear me out. All right. It's gonna sound bad crazy. All right. We gotta think about the spiritual impact, right? On one hand. But what if, knowing what we know about Hollywood from our inside, from our inside source, I ain't gonna say no names, deep. All right, but what if what if she was presented to him? There is a such thing as a social climber that people don't talk about much anymore. They don't really go by that title anymore, right? We all know that in sports, some women are groomed for the role that they are to play for these athletes. Why would we not assume that for other entertainers? I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but what if he's the shark in the big tank or a smaller tank, right? She just might be the fisherman on the boat. That's all. I don't think it's love though. It doesn't appear to be that from where I'm standing and with the little information that I have. I think it's suspect.
One final story that this makes me think of, which to me is an example of people marrying to get advantage. The last remaining widow of a Civil War veteran just died in 2020 because she married a Civil War veteran who was 88 when she was 17. And obviously vastly outlived him. That was just another example that made me think that extreme age difference that to me is just an indicator that somebody's probably after what they can get rather than the love. Never know. But yeah, I think a lot of these marriages, a lot of these setups, particularly with celebrities that have wealth and fame and all sorts of benefits to association, I think it's rare that they actually get together because of love and connection. I think the majority of the time they get married because A, they're in the same vicinity as each other and it's just natural for them to get married. Or one of them is after the fame and the money of the other. I think that once you kind of hit a certain level of popularity, a certain level of fame, there's different incentives to get married. It's not like regular average people that get married because they want the stability, they want to have kids, that makes easier, whatever. Some people still do the old-fashioned a connection where they get along with each other and they find common things. But when I see these extreme marriages, I almost always assume that it's somebody's trying to get something out of that relationship. And I think from the male perspective, there's also that additional, like, sadly, older guys might want a beautiful woman because they don't want to have to see the ugly woman, the wrinkled woman, she has health conditions, the sexual nature is going to be different. And so I think there is also that aspect where the men also are looking for visual benefits on top of that. So, yeah, I find it hard to believe that most of these marriages are built out of love and compassion and connection. I think most of the time there's an ulterior motive.
A hell of a show.
Deep, since you in Hollywood, I mean, like, or somewhere roundabout, what's your take? Like, why do people approach you? What?
I think Brandon was finna say something too. Brandon was finna say.
Shit, Brandon got the crew over there. That's he the real superstar. I just be chilling.
Nah, I wasn't saying that. I'm cool. I'm chilling right now.
Nah, man.
I feel like also what Cat Williams said. I got double back. What we know, they said light skinned girl go to XYZ, boom boom, connection like that. So then when Cat Williams did an interview last year, so,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. But who knows? I just want to know how they met. That's all. How they met. That's all. I mean, I could go.
I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole because we could go on and on with that, but I don't know. Shout out to everybody who pulled up tonight, man. Chef, glad to have you up here, man. You owe me a hat too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sid, Rob, Brandon, Max had to step away because he had some stuff to tend to, but salutes to him. I wanted to make sure he got his bars out before he stepped. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. Miss Scorpio. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. We definitely gonna spin back. Do me a solid before y'all go, if you don't mind.
Push the goddamn button.
Peace.
The flow insane. Take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane.